You are completely bloody.
I know.
When did you become such a lightweight?
Well, I haven't eaten, have I? George said something about shoving some steak down me, but...
It's probably a bit late for that now. You know, we used to get you home. But Theo would put you to bed. I don't know, we're going to get you downstairs in one piece.
Should never got rid of that stair lift. Full emergency crisp.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
Hello and welcome to episode 378 of The Talk of the Street, an unofficial Coronation Street catch-up podcast whose colonoscopy discussion points this week will mostly be focused on polyps. I'm Gavin.
And abolish ICE.
This is a different podcast.
Fuck the police.
Oh, definitely a different podcast. We're meeting at the docks
I stand
at
with
11.
I stand with
Come alone.
I stand with the frogs.
French?
No, the Portland frogs. The guy in the inflatable.
I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan, I'm afraid.
the guy
Portland frogs.
The guy in the inflatable frog costume that was protesting at the ice center, and one of the ice people like sprayed pepper spray directly into the air vent in the costume.
Oh, that's nice.
And the Portland frog said, "I've had spicier."
Oh, it's Sean Evans from Hot Ones.
Yes. The Portland frog is secretly Sean Evans from Hot Ones.
Asks really good questions.
Yes. Hey.
Look at us.
Look at us.
1 minute in.
We'll never tire of pretending to be Paul Rudd.
I tell you, I'm Louis Capaldi. That's what I'm doing. And I've got the accent down.
They're worse people to pretend to be.
Indeed.
Than our beloved Paul Rudd.
How are you this week?
Yeah, I've been better.
Oh, funnily enough, I had a text conversation with somebody this week where they asked me how I was, and I said, been better.
Uh-huh.
And what they read was, I've been better, thank you.
Or I am being better. I don't understand that.
No, nor do I.
Yeah, it's almost as if they don't really care. They were just starting a conversation so that they could ask you to do something for them.
Yes, that's exactly how that went.
Yeah.
Been better. I'm glad to hear you're better. Anyway, this is what I really wanted to talk to you about.
Either that or you were actually texting with AI and not with an actual person.
Sometimes I wonder.
I've gotten, I don't know what it is. I've gotten a lot of text messages this past couple of weeks of texts that say, "Hi Helen, is this still your number?" Or, "Hi Helen, I'm wondering if you got my last text." Hi Helen, it's Sabati. Do you remember me?
And do you remember Sabati?
No. So those all go to blockety block spam.
Oh, they know your name though? See, the ones that I get where they don't know my name are things like, "If you have time, let's get food later." To which I tend to respond, "After the last time, you must be joking."
See, I don't even reply.
No, I don't reply much.
No.
Sometimes I do. I like to toy with them for a little bit. What I really want to say to them is, does this ever work?
Yeah. But
And what exactly is the scam here?
But considering that the majority of them are bots, they don't know if it works or not because they're not real.
No,
they're not human.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. We got through that.
We did. It took a couple of goes, but we finally got through it.
We got through it.
I'm celebrating the fact that we finally got rid of the derelict car that's been in our garage for the last couple of months.
Yes. Rest in peace, Equinox.
It's taken an awful lot of toing and froing, but finally it is now with the American Cancer Society.
Yes.
Fuck knows what they're going to do with it.
I don't know. I'm sure there's...
Melt it down. I mean, there's probably like $5 worth of empty cans in the
passenger
seat well.
Yeah, the guy asked me if it still ran, and I laughed.
It does, noisily, and the battery just dies very quickly, but other than that...
Right, yeah.
If you can get it going...
We had to get somebody to tow it out of the garage because the American Cancer Society wouldn't tow it out of the garage.
Jake drove it out of the garage, I'll have you know.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
So you could have done that.
I couldn't get it started. He's got things that can send an awful lot more power to the battery than I have.
He's got magic fingers.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. And didn't want a cent for it.
Yeah, that's because he's a good guy.
Yeah, what a good guy.
He's a good guy.
All right, shall we dive in, my dear?
Yes, please.
Give us some of that vehicular Corrie news. Oh, and then I hit a button, don't I?
Yes, you do.
This one?
Yes, that one. Well done. I know we're getting Eva back, but what about Sophie?
What? Sophie! Sophie!
Is that going to replace Abby?
Over!
Brooke Vincent has hinted she'd be open to returning to the show, so we may have more girls in the future, as opposed to less girls. in the
Which one was
future.
your favourite? Sophie! Or Rosie?
Neither. I prefer the girls.
The girls.
The girls. Yes.
I think Sophie was better value for money, although Rosie was pretty funny. Yeah, I'd be happy with either of them back. Mm-hmm. They seem to be talking about the girls an awful lot more than they have done in years.
Yeah.
And when you keep on mentioning people, they typically return. So
Right. Right.
Interesting. Little spoiler, madam, with perhaps more information on that.
Yeah. Or not.
Oh, okay.
We had a brief Lauren sighting this week.
We did.
And Kate Fitton took to Insta to let fans know she'll be back to a more regular schedule at the end of the month with the return of Eva and shakeups at the Rovers.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah. Apparently people were like, where are you? Where have you been? Why aren't you on the show more?
Really?
Which, apparently. Which, you know, is something that...
People have their favourites, I guess, right?
And, you know, and also you're just curious. I believe I, at last week, said something about, where's Lauren? She should be working here.
I think I've been quite pleased that, because she's involved in everything,
Right.
in the same way that Brodie's involved in everything.
Yeah.
So I've been quite appreciative of the break, but it was nice to see her again.
Yeah.
In her new role as
Right.
the blonde barmaid.
Right, yeah. And we've complimented this decision to put her
A good
behind the
move.
bar.
Absolutely, a good
It's
move.
absolutely a good move. And finally, Corrie boss Kate Brooks has assured fans that more family-led drama and less dark storylines are ahead as we head closer to Christmas and also the crossover storyline, which I take with a grain of salt because...
We've been disappointed in the words of Kate Brooks before.
Right, yes. And I remember things like, oh, we're going to give Hope better storylines and stuff, which is yet to happen.
I keep on going back to the interview at the start of the year where she talked about the show's DNA, which every incoming producer has to talk about.
Right, yeah.
And it doesn't really mean anything, but it's a platitude, and we appreciate platitudes because
we?
that's what platitudes are for.
Do we appreciate them when they don't really mean anything?
But then she went on to say about an abundance of issue-led storylines, and you're like, well, that doesn't sound great.
No.
And I don't know. This is coming up for a year that she's been in post. I mean, we haven't seen the fruit of that. Oh, what's that? 9 months, maybe 10 months. So it's still early days, but I think it's probably been a bit patchy, I would say.
Yes.
When it's good, it's been great.
Yes.
But there haven't been that many great weeks, I feel.
And, you know, I have to say, the more I watch classic Corrie, the more I'm on the side of people like Tom and Christopher, as far as it was better.
Oh, demonstrably.
Yeah.
Less going on, yet still better. Which reminds me, we need to get cracking on November's classics.
Dennis is Batman.
That's what we're going with.
That's what we're going with.
It's just 8 episodes before the fire.
Yeah. Which is fine.
We're kind of focused on that era.
I don't care. If you can find another fancy dress Halloween episode, I will take it.
Chris did mention to me, though, that the episode before it is much, much better.
But there's no fancy dress.
But maybe we do both episodes. Maybe we could do that.
Maybe.
Say maybe in a more alluring way.
Maybe. Maybe not.
No, don't do that.
Ooh, maybe.
There we go. That'll do. And that's Corrie News.
And that's Corrie News.
All right, well, we'll move on then to our feedback section. I always like to call Everyone's a Critic. And now I understand why the automatic transcription of these episodes think it's called Everyone's a Critic. Critic.
Because of your accent.
Critic.
Everyone's a cricket.
Yeah, that's what I think I was trying to say.
It's okay.
Modeep writes, the Tim storyline is a virtual copy of a previous EastEnder storyline involving Mick Carter. I think Mick was supposed to have been 12 at the time, which is very problematic and
Even
illegal.
worse.
So far, Tim is handling it well. I think so too. Then Ian Les Paul writes, I thought the funniest line in last week's pod was when Helen described Kevin as a sad old monkey mourning the loss of Jane Goodall.
Did I do that?
Yes, you did. And you've never sounded more Stuart Lee. Perfect thumbnail sketch.
That's like the greatest compliment you've ever given me. Compared me to Stuart Lee.
Yeah,
I'm touched.
there you go. Perfect thumbnail sketch. So well observed and topical. Score! It deserved more. That is why, Gav, she is your perfect comedy partner.
Aw.
Oh,
And partner in other ways too.
yes. Thank you, Ian.
Yes, thank you, Ian.
Then Naomi writes,
And thank you, Ian's wife.
and then Naomi writes, colonoscopy talk needs its own ditty. That's ditty.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what our ditty for colonoscopy talk would be?
What rhymes with colonoscopy?
Any other oscopy you have to do?
Oh, yeah. That's cheating. Maybe focus on talk. Maybe that would be easier.
Right. Or, focus on poo, which rhymes with lots of things. Poo,
I was explaining
loo,
it to somebody
Two.
today.
through.
Yes. But I remembered a Foley sound effect of smashing glass from my childhood, and it seemed to be ubiquitous with TV shows in the 70s and 80s that they would play the same, and you could tell it was the same tinkling glass sounds whenever a window got broken.
Yeah.
Like if a window got broken in Grange Hill, that's the noise it would play.
Right.
But it would be everywhere.
Right.
It would be
Like the Wilhelm scream.
like the Wilhelm scream.
Yes.
I explained to someone at work today that I found a BBC Foley archive video on YouTube, 2 hours long, just filled with clips of the sound effects.
Uh-huh.
And dear listener, I listened to it all.
Of course you did.
And the tinkling glass was not on it. So I can well see me spending, 3 or 4 hours making a jingle for colonoscopy talk for a section that we will never do.
Again.
Right. Well, we've already done it.
Right. Well, I'm sure I'll have other colonoscopies in the future that we can talk about.
Then John writes, please can we rename the pod Talk of the Douche? More work for me.
I'm so pleased everyone got so much out of that whole conversation last week.
Made me laugh out loud cycling to work again. You need to be careful when you're cycling and these sort of things happen, as I learned to my own peril. But and I don't expect you to know this, but not all gay men take it up the butt. There are classic tops, bottoms, and verse gays. But now there's a new classification called side, whereby you're not into penetration at all. I have a feeling Todd and Theo are not sides, however.
No. Is that like the gay man version of scissoring?
I've no idea. I'm trying to imagine it. It seems sore in my head.
With no penetration, but I'm assuming a lot of rubbing?
Frotting, I think. Isn't it called frotting? Isn't frottage something dirty?
Are you thinking of French cheese?
No, that's fromage. And hopefully there's none of that.
No, you don't want
We're back to the douche again.
You don't want anything cheesy while you're having sex.
But I think we talk about tops and bottoms? I must have cut it out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're aware that, there's a penetrator and a penetratee. So, but I imagine wouldn't you switch it up every once in a while?
I would have thought so.
Because straight people do.
Keeping it fresh.
Yeah. Sometimes the lady is on the top and sometimes the lady is on the bottom.
And sometimes the man has had a Caesar salad for dinner. And sometimes he's had jellied eels or a kebab.
Okay, a kebab I can see. Have you ever eaten a jellied eel in your life?
Once. Never again. We must move on.
Yes.
Fiona B writes, "Hi, you strong cups of coffee. Regarding all the... strong cups of coffee. Regarding all the colonoscopy chat..." Yep. "I have had the camera up the you-know-what too, but not that you-know-what. I had it up the lady parts, but not that bit of the lady parts. I got it up the pee hole. I got to see the inside of my bladder on a big screen, which was exciting, but I also got to see the camera coming towards my floof on the big screen. Grimmest porn film I've ever seen." Thank you so much for sharing that, Fiona. I was so happy to hear Gav bigging up Baker Street on the list of lists. Fiona's a list of lists listener.
Yay!
When I was 8 or 9, I used to make radio shows on a cassette recorder. And I had a tape of Baker Street that I was obsessed with. I used to pretend my listeners were calling and requesting the song, and we just play it back to back. "Oh, Sally in Harrogate wants to hear it again. Here we go." This was 1994, mind. Luckily, I grew up to be cool and popular. Big love as always, Fiona B. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Fiona B, John, Naomi, Ian, and Modeep. Outstanding, high-quality mailbag this week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm so glad that people got something out of our conversation last week. And also that people are willing to share some of their experiences, both when it comes to medical stuff and sex stuff.
I don't remember a single thing about what we talked about last week about colonoscopies. I can just remember handing it over to you and then I went to my bed. I think that's the order of what happened. Anyway, feedback is always welcome. Send us your thoughts and I will probably read them out. Get us at the talk of the street at gmail.com, or our DMs are open at Corrie Podcast, or we love it when people write actual letters to us. Send us your proper mail to the Talk of the Street, PO Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan 48827. But please note, we reserve the right to edit feedback, only, of course, in the interests of brevity.
Yes.
And now let's podcast for coffee. Drinking their own coffees this week. Or I'm drinking my Peace Tea Just Peachy. I got 2 of these last week, and I swear to God I only drank 1 of them.
Huh. So there should be 3 in the... Well, no, there'd be 2 in the fridge now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Could it maybe have fallen over and it's in the door? That happens sometimes.
No, I don't think I did.
I didn't drink it. Even though you 2 weeks in a row have forgotten to get unsweetened iced tea.
Is that on the list?
It's one of those things that...
I don't think you were drinking it anymore.
Yeah. I'll drink
get it.
whatever.
I thought you'd stop drinking it. It's good that we talk
like-
about our grocery list on the podcast. Though.
I like to mix it up.
You know, we're talking about overthrowing the government, and we're also talking about iced tea on shopping lists.
And gay sex.
And a little bit of gay sex.
A little bit of gay sex.
And Fiona's floof. The Talk of the Street is and will always be free on your podcast provider and on the YouTubes, but if you think our show is worth anything more than the time it takes to listen to it, and if you want to show your appreciation, or if you want more weekly and monthly content, I can't imagine why, here are your options. Sign up to be a friend of the podcast for as little as $2 a month. You can sign up at patreon.com/thetalkofthestreet, ko-fi.com, that's ko-fi.com/thetalkofthestreet, or hit the join button on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thetalkofthestreet podcast. Friends of the podcast get access to our weekly spoiler show, the Talk of the Street Spoiler Alert, and our monthly classic Corrie show, the Talk of the Street Classics. And if that wasn't enough for you, you can also get a shout out at the end of every podcast and your name on the credits of the main show, aka the flagship. If you prefer something a little less formal, you can also buy us next week's coffee by going to ko-fi.com/thetalkofthestreet. All our links can be found at linktree/Corrie podcast. But remember, you can always support the podcast for free and get us in front of new listeners by liking, subscribing, rating and reviewing wherever you get your podcasts. Alright, shall we dive into the show, my dear?
Yes, please.
Our first storyline this week is Sucks to be a Webster. On Monday, Kev lives in the dark now. Poor Kev. Doesn't have the energy to turn on a light.
No, which is fine. It's Kev.
He seems to be a little bit down in the dumps now that Abby's left. Debbie comes to visit, but he's left a chain on, and she threatens to kick the door in. He eventually lets her in, but he's still not forgiven her for siding with the enemy, so quickly
Even
throws
though
her back
that's
out
not what
again.
he did. She did. Knowing something is not siding with something.
Knowing something and not telling somebody, and not telling somebody who will end up sitting in the dark, that's the mistake that she
Yeah,
made.
because she doesn't want him to sit in the dark.
Well, what's he doing?
She knew what was going to happen. So she didn't want to be the one to tell him because she doesn't want him sitting in the dark and being sad.
And yet. He gets a call from Abby, though, wanting him to look after Alfie. So they meet in Nina's roles, but Kev is in a furious mood and calls Alfie his kid and his boy, and how he's Alfie's dad, which is more than he's said about the lad in the last couple of years.
Right, yes, and also is biologically impossible.
Yep. He becomes so aggressive that Abby tells him that he can forget about looking after Alfie. Outside, Kev breaks down, which is ironic considering his line of business. So very clever. Alfie's left in...
So who's watching Alfie now?
He's left in the charge of Carl, as Abby,
Ugh.
who has an interview at another garage, makes another plea to get their own place. But Carl intends to stay at the Rape Hotel for as long as possible. When Abby predicts Debbie throwing them out, Carl goes to try his luck with Roy, but not like that. Sally goes round.
I mean,
Although you never know.
You never know. Carl is an equal opportunity adulterer.
Another kink? Well,
is there
women, men, and old men.
is there that much of a difference between a man
James
and
and
an old
Roy.
man?
Is there that much of a difference between James and Roy, Ellen?
Well, you don't know. Once their clothes are off, you don't know. You're making some very harsh assumptions about Roy's physique underneath that apron.
Oh, well. Anyway, poor Roy. Sally goes round to Kev's dark house and warns him that every time he kicks off, he's making sure he's never going to be part of Alfie's life. I've still got Jack, says Kev. Alfie was spare.
Alfie was the
His name is Harry. It's,
right. I was trying to think of something clever to call Prince Harry, and I couldn't do it. Yes. So yes. So
Sally,
Alfie
though,
is the Prince Harry.
yeah,
Yeah. That fits.
let's move on.
Yeah.
Sally, though, seems to be making him see sense. Are you concerned about this?
About Kev being in a deep depression?
No. Well, maybe. But mostly, are you concerned that Sally seems to be around at Kev's quite a lot, and she and Tim aren't in the best place at the moment.
That's never going to happen.
God, I really
Never
hope it.
going to. Can
Sally
you
has
imagine?
said. Sally has said this will never happen again.
Can you imagine the angry emails and letters
From you.
and protesting inflatable frogs outside the ITV studios? If that were to happen, there would be pitchforks and flames in the street.
Yeah. There was a while where it was difficult to watch Coronation Street and not have Kev and Sally together. That was a very, very long time ago. They're so much better apart. And as they've said, that they're still friends and that's important to each other. It's just Kev, man. You know what he's like.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like imagining you or I getting back together with one of our exes.
Yeah.
That would never happen
Yeah.
in a million years. We're relatively friendly with our exes, aren't we?
I think we're probably friendlier with our exes than most people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason why we're
not with those people anymore. Correct.
And we're all better people because of it.
Yes. Yes. Us especially.
Yeah. Of course.
Of course.
Hey. No.
Hey.
No.
Look at us.
No.
Yes. Look at us.
I refuse. Okay, good. So I'm glad that it's been troubling me. Back at room 101, Abby reckons that she's as good as got the job, and Carl is put out that they can't celebrate by getting their hole because Alfie's playing with trucks. But he reveals that he's spoken to Roy about Abby and Alfie moving into Roy's. Well, I'll just stay at the hotel. Abby's against this, thinking that he's having second thoughts.
Yeah.
No.
No, of course not.
No. Says
I
Carl.
just, I'm
I
hoping
just would rather
to have
stay
sex
here.
with James again
Yes.
at some point.
Carl says that he knew what he was signing up for, even Alfie. It's time to build bridges, he says, whatever that means. On Wednesday, Carl helps Abby move out of the Rape Hotel and into Roy's very quickly. Privately, Roy hopes that Abby has backed the right horse. She gets a call from the garage that she interviewed for yesterday and she didn't get the job and suspects sabotage from Kev, so goes off to shout at him for a bit. Kev's still in the dark, literally and figuratively.
He is.
But he reveals that he didn't give the reference. It was Jack who somehow got into Kev's emails through Alfie's tablet or whatever. Seems that Jack thinks Abby is a waste of space and he wouldn't trust her as far as he could fling her.
Well.
And Abby seems put out by this. Is that what he thinks of me? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because of the things that you did, remember?
Right, yes.
Remember those things that you did?
Sleeping with his uncle
Yeah.
instead of his dad who you were married to.
Remember that?
He can't remember that he has a false leg, but he can remember that.
Stop going on about that. At the pub, Tracy, who let's remember was blackmailing Abby and Carl for weeks, advises Abby to take Kev to the cleaners and maybe give him a clean as well, as she's entitled to half his shit.
Yeah, and starts calling her babe again.
Carl's eyes light up. He
Yes.
strongly suggests that Abby files for divorce and says if she does that, they'll be able to find a place to live sooner. So Abby agrees.
Yeah, and it's weird, isn't it? That Abby at first is like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. You don't want to divorce Kev so that you can be with Carl?
Well, I've put him through enough.
You want to be with Carl but still be married to Kev? How does that make sense? How have you not crossed this threshold already? Because she seems genuinely shocked by the idea. And Tracy's right that Abby deserves a share of the business in the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
That makes absolute sense. It kind of feels like it shouldn't be legal for Kev to fire her just because she broke up with him.
No, he probably needs to buy her out.
Yeah.
Because she worked there as well, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Then again, you should maybe not hire somebody who's sleeping with you as well. But I guess because they're married, it's okay. I don't know.
Well, wasn't she working there before they got it? Before they got it together?
Before they got married? Yeah.
Or before they started dating?
Yeah.
Dating. Sorry, I mean courting. Before Kev started courting Abby.
Wait, is this the 18th century?
Well, in more ways than one. Well, that's the end of that storyline.
And not any of the good ones.
No. That's the end of that storyline. And it seems that Abby is being, what feels deliberately obtuse here.
Yes.
That she doesn't see what's happening plainly in front of
Right
her
in
eyes.
front of her face. I'm just waiting for James to finally tell her.
Yeah,
that
that's
he's also-
surely
That's got to happen soon.
happening soon.
That better happen soon. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already.
Well, they like to string this along, and they like to string Abby along just to make her feel
Even
as
stupider.
bad as possible
Yeah.
and as stupid as possible.
But, James was really angry last week about this.
He was furious.
So it doesn't feel like something that James would just sit on for a couple of weeks.
What kind of man sleeps with his brother's wife? So James didn't know that Carla and Abby were a thing. And Helen's suddenly underwater. And Abby doesn't know
That James and Carl are
that
a
James
thing.
and Carla were a thing.
Right. And let's all not forget that Carl gave Abby a guilt trip for sleeping with her husband.
Yes.
So good for me, but not for thee, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ugh.
It's just so obvious, though. You go and live with Roy for a little bit, and I'll just stay here in this massive double bed on my own. I'm amazed that that flies. Although maybe Abby does realise that this is what's going on, but she's too far into this now to have any problem with it.
Right.
And just deliberately ignoring it. Maybe it'll go away.
Maybe some space will help her realize what a bad hand she's drawn.
Yes.
Not that Kev was much better.
The one thing that this is doing is it's showing Alfie with people. And Alfie can go months without being seen, and everyone's wondering, well, who's looking after him? To the point that it's kind of odd to see Abby and Alfie interacting with each other.
Yeah. He's a cutie patootie, though.
All right, let's move on to our next storyline. Theo No Sleeves. Oh. Corrie, you give with one hand and you take away with the other.
It's true.
Oh, you frustrate me so.
Yes.
Theo was excited on Monday about meeting with Gary and a subcontractor. Todd is more interested in the results of his colonoscopy, but of course he can't tell Theo.
Right. And he also, for some reason, can't say the word colonoscopy.
No. Theo goes off in a huff when Todd doesn't tell him what's wrong. At work, Todd tells George that he wants to organise his own funeral and hopes George will give him a good send-off. He also tells George that he's taking the afternoon off, and George is obviously worried about Todd. So Christina tells him to snoop.
He's like, wait a second. You think I'm still going to be around when you die?
Well, I think what I got from that was George has heard Todd say about arranging his funeral, and then suddenly he's taking an afternoon off and is thinking, where on earth are you going?
Right, yes. There's that too.
To somewhere elevated, perhaps?
Oh.
So, Christina tells George to snoop on Todd's emails to find out if anything's up. And something is up. An appointment at the hospital, plus cheap Viagra? At Christina's suggestion, she sends George off to give his support.
I also like that Christina says to George, you're the closest thing he has to a parent right now while his mom's gone. And I like that somebody said it out loud.
Yeah. And George steps up.
He does.
He goes to the hospital and he sits with Todd and tells him that he didn't want him to be alone. Questions where Theo is, wondering why he'd want to keep this a secret. George calls Todd Toddicles, and I always like it when he calls Todd Toddicles, and says that he loves him.
Yeah.
Just as the doctor comes along with the diagnosis. Todd has a polyp.
A big, massive polyp.
Shaped like the 2023 Christmas edition of the TV Times.
Unlike
Bumper.
mine, which was shaped like a penis. Guess where my cancer was? Guess where my cancer was? It was in that big, massive polyp. That's what cancer is. That's where the cancer is.
That's its
so
house.
to just say, oh, it wasn't cancer. It was just a big, massive polyp.
A big, massive, cancerous polyp.
It's just really to say it was a big, massive polyp, but there wasn't any cancer visible, which honestly would have probably taken a little bit more testing time than what's been given.
They play fast and loose with these things.
They're playing a little too fast and loose, saying, "Oh, it wasn't cancer; it was just a polyp." So now people are going to go and get colonoscopies and hear that they had some polyps removed and think that it's no big deal, when in fact, it may not be a big deal.
I was wondering.
I've had lots of non-cancerous polyps removed, but also the reason why they remove those polyps and test them for cancer is that's where the cancer is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why even bring up colon cancer or bowel cancer, which for some reason it's called in the United Kingdom, and just let it go so quickly, so to speak.
Oh, I'm glad that they're not starting another cancer storyline.
Well, that's true.
Thrilled about that.
We've had enough of those.
But maybe the fault lies in the word polyp, because it doesn't sound nasty.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think polyp sounds nice?
It sounds like that's what it sounds like.
And you don't think that's a nasty noise?
No, it's a lovely noise.
It's not. It's gross.
That's a gross word. That's just a plop.
You don't think plops are gross?
No, no.
What plops?
My poop.
Yes.
But that's a good thing.
Yes, but
Why do I suddenly feel like I'm 5 years old now? I did big jobbies today.
As much as I encourage people to talk about their poop for healthcare reasons, it's also not it's not the nicest thing in the world to think about.
I think the actual polyp doesn't sound great.
No.
What it actually is, but the word I think
Yes.
sounds quite cheerful.
And you've seen plenty of pictures of polyps, because I like to show you my pictures of polyps in the inside of my colon.
It was Uncle Sammy that introduced me to the word polyp. He had some removed from his nose.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean,
And
polyps can grow
then
anywhere.
he said that they got sent away for an autopsy. That's that storyline. That's the start of that storyline. Meanwhile,
I miss Uncle Sammy.
Theo is with Gary and the contractor, Pete.
Pete.
And business meetings here mean getting fucked up at the bistro.
Right, yeah, for some reason.
Theo sees Billy there and asks how Todd is, but Billy and Summer are non-committal.
And Billy is awkward.
Later, though, Theo overhears Billy take a call from Todd because, fucking hell, Billy.
Right, but also Theo, for some reason, can hear everything going on in a busy bistro, like 3 tables away.
Mm-hmm. But the line is bad and Billy's none the wiser. Theo's over in a flash for more info from Summer, but she doesn't know anything.
And
But
she really
manages
doesn't.
to make things worse by saying Todd and Billy are thick as mince. Thieves. They're thick as thieves. Theo gets the shots in, and the business deal is cemented with Jaeger bombs. Meanwhile,
As is the proper way to do business.
That makes it legal. Meanwhile, Todd and Billy go back to their binding, the
Yeah.
Jaeger bombs.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
In
Todd and
more ways
Billy
than one.
go back to his place to celebrate his good news. Todd's standard procedure after getting good medical news is the same as his post-colonoscopy routine: booze and crisps.
Right, yes. The things that made you need to get a colonoscopy in the first place.
Yep. Billy becomes maudlin talking about Paul, which is why Billy doesn't have any friends who come visit him. Todd suggests more wine in the hope that Billy shuts up. It doesn't work.
No.
Theo calls, drunk, wanting Todd to go and join him and Gary and Pete. But Todd can't be asked with drunk Theo,
Because he's too drunk himself.
so says he's working late. And this strikes Billy as odd. They end up super drunk with Manchester bucket hats on, listening to the Happy Mondays. And meanwhile, Theo goes to the Undertaker's because his night's finished, I guess, and learns that Todd isn't working late after all, and then learns that Todd went home with Billy to celebrate. Celebrate what? Asks Theo. Christina suggests that he goes over, sure that they'll still be at it. She loves stirring this up.
Yes, she loves to stir this pot.
Oh, I'm surprised we didn't talk about this.
What?
Amy Robbins, who plays Christina, has had her contract extended for a year.
Yes.
She is now a regular character.
Nice.
I think we kind of hoped that would happen
Yes.
after the whole Daisy fiasco.
Right.
I'm really glad that it has.
Yeah, because I like her now. She hasn't been quite as evil, and I don't know if the show's just trying to lull me into complacency because she's been so nice. And she said that George is basically Todd's dad, and is being nice and supportive. I'm hoping that this doesn't mean that she's going to pull the rug out of underneath us and become evil again. But I like that she's sticking up for George and Todd.
Yeah, I don't think I'd mind evil Christina again.
Yeah,
Because
but
there's some legwork being done to make us appreciate the characters.
Yes, but
Like when Tracy becomes a bitch.
Right, but I don't want her to hurt George.
Oh, no, sure. So, Theo sees Billy and Todd drunkenly leave Billy's, but then Todd has a sudden change of heart, decides that he can't handle Theo when he's drunk, and decides to keep on Billy's sofa for the night. Seeing this, Theo is furious, but then he sees Pete again, who turns out to be as gay as get out, and
Of
the two
course
of
he
them
is.
head into town for more delicious booze.
And other things.
And other things, yes. So Wednesday, filthy stop-out Todd sheepishly heads home to face the music, but is shocked to discover
Shocked, I say.
that rather than miss him, Theo has been pegging Pete from last night.
Who is wearing Todd's robe.
How dare he?
And Theo is doing laundry. Because that's what you do after sex. Is laundry.
Well, I think maybe that tells us a little
I
something,
think
doesn't
that
it?
does tell us something, doesn't it?
Turns out Theo thought Todd was fucking Billy, so fuck Pete in preemptive retaliation. Todd is furious about this and storms back out, where he meets Glenda, who is throwing an impromptu Mr. and Mrs. night tonight, which will become important.
Later.
He goes home and they argue, and Todd's explanation of his health issues just seems to make matters worse. Because you tell this guy, and you tell this guy, and you don't tell me, says Theo. Todd has had enough of being blamed, so throws Theo out on his ass.
Right. On his ass.
And then says, I'm going out. I don't want you to be here when I come back.
Good job, Todd. Briefly.
I'm like, oh, thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
He heads to the pub for the third time in 3 days, wearing last night's clothes.
And having not combed his hair in 24 hours.
I'm thinking, has he changed his underpants since he got that colonoscopy?
I mean, he wouldn't have been wearing his underpants during the colonoscopy, so it's fine.
Let's just say he did. And he sits with Billy, but doesn't explain what happened, just that he's fizzing at Theo, and not in a good way. The Mr. and Mrs. night is a resounding success.
Yes.
And when Theo comes in to guilt Todd, not only does Todd refuse to talk to him, he manages to drag a protesting Billy up for the Mr. and Mrs. fun, while a puppy-eyed Theo hangs around like a bad smell and looks jelly until he's seen enough and leaves. And this about does it for Billy, who doesn't appreciate being used like a pawn.
Right. And who does not know, and Todd does not tell him, that Theo slept with someone else last night.
Mm-hmm. Todd's not really good at telling people important things.
No, yes. So Billy seems kind of like an asshole here, where he says, no, go and apologize to Theo and get back with Theo. And it's like, Billy, no. Billy, stop. Billy, you don't know what you're saying.
What, Billy, stop.
Billy, stop.
Todd goes home later and finds Theo packing. He apologises to Todd and takes responsibility for his actions. He let his jealousy get the better of him and wanted revenge. Todd decides to see things from Theo's position and takes responsibility for what he did.
Which was nothing.
And suggests that they try again. But he goes further and offers to cut ties with Billy.
Why?
So when Billy comes round to check to see if everything's all right, Todd apologises but tells him that we can't be friends anymore and he needs to focus on his relationship with Theo, and that means seeing less of Billy.
Right, but still being co-dads of Summer.
Billy
So
accepts
how does that
this.
work?
Billy accepts this
Well,
and says, oh, I guess I'll see you around then, but can't hide that he's hurt. Theo looks on and smirks. On Friday, Todd has a wooden car. It has a wooden engine, wooden doors, wooden wheels.
and it wouldn't go.
Fuck off! You do this all the time. Just because you see the punchline doesn't mean you can go for it.
That's part of the back and forth.
No, it's not part of the back and the forth. That's his and Theo's plans for a country pub visit fucked.
Oh, well.
Theo goes off. Why is it always a country pub?
Why is it always a country pub?
Theo goes off with a look of a plan on his face. Well, Todd worries how he's going to afford to get this fixed. Sarah takes him for coffee, where Todd talks about recent events, not in too much detail, and claims to be happy. She suggests that they take this to the Rovers, which will be Todd's 4th night on the sauce. At least he's changed his shirt. Todd gets a text from Theo asking to meet outside the flat. Theo has bought Todd a new electrical car.
With what money, may I ask?
Todd doesn't know how to react. Theo says he can afford it, and that makes me wonder why they're living in a shitty flat above the corner shop.
It's not that shitty.
Yeah. You'll pay me.
Not anymore, because Todd is done with the prep for his colonoscopy, which Theo apparently didn't notice.
You'll pay me back in other ways, Theo says, ominously. That's as far as we get with that this week.
With sex.
I wonder if they're deliberately throwing Todd in the pub every single night. If this is a deliberate
If this is his
choice,
the way that he's dealing with the coercive control stuff and the being afraid of Theo stuff is getting too drunk to notice sort of thing.
Yeah, taking every opportunity to go to the pub. But it's his friends that are taking him quite a bit of the time, and his friends that are giving him the wine and coming back for Tomaplays for wine and all that.
By friends, you mean Billy?
I mean Billy.
That's it.
And Sarah.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's not it.
It's weird that those are his only friends. We got a bit of Sean this week. That's always nice.
Yeah, if we're done talking about Todd's possible path to alcoholism.
Right. Didn't this happen with Yasmin as well? Wasn't she drinking?
She was drinking, and that was something that Tim's dad could.
Oh, that was one of the things that he was coercive controlling about. He was like, "Oh no, you drink too much. You're an alcoholic." Mm-hmm. He convinced that sweet, lovely woman that she was an alcoholic. Not that alcoholics can't be sweet and lovely, but still. Yasmin, feeder of chickens.
But I think if someone was to do that to Todd, they might be onto something. Because in the accelerated world of soap, I think 4 nights in the sauce could be enough to make somebody develop a drinking problem.
And it's really weird because if you have a cancer scare, typically one thing that you think of after that scare is, how can I live a healthier life? And that doesn't typically involve getting plastered and eating kebabs.
Well, that is one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is exactly the opposite of that. It's like, I have survived this. I am going to seize the day and live life to its fullest by getting drunk and eating kebabs.
That's not very...
That'll show death.
That's not very healthy. That's like Dick Van Dyke saying, wouldn't it be funny if I died between now and my 100th birthday in December?
And there you go, and he did that.
Yeah. Fortunately, Dick Van Dyke is not one of the hundreds of people who keep dying on a daily basis lately. Have you noticed that? It's like every day, like 5 different celebrities are dead. Just like that. What's up with that?
Stop doing that then.
Anyway, rest in peace, guy from Kiss.
It wasn't one of the ones whose makeup I recognised.
He's one of the
Him
founding...
and the cat.
He's one of the
I couldn't name the guy with the cat.
He's one of the founding fathers of Kiss. He was the Starman.
What did you think of the Mr. and Mrs. night?
It was fun. I remember, and it was... Thanks, Billy, for bringing up the fact that you and Paul won it last year.
Yeah. Keeping it light, Billy.
I love that this is becoming an annual thing. I love that Glenda's like, oh, it's all inclusive to the gays.
She did this same day.
Yeah.
There was no pre-planning of this. She woke up in the morning and she thought, I'm going to do a Mr. and Mrs. night, and by God, she did it. She
designed and printed flyers, posted them all over the place, bought decorations, decorated the pub, wrote the questions out, bought the little super pistols. Soakers. That was fun too. That was fun when we found out that Gemma had convinced Sean to fill their super soakers with vodka.
Yes.
That was hilarious. And Sally and Tim soaking one another.
Yeah, because Tim's rubbish at it. Who'd have thought? He thought that Sally had size 8 feet.
Well, and he didn't know his own size feet. He didn't even know his own size shoe.
Glenda had to check if they bought me a shoe.
Yeah.
You're a size 10. Tom.
You are a size 10, which seems kind of small for a man of Tim's height. What size do you wear?
Well, in the UK, I was a size 10. Over here, it's a size 11.
Right. Isn't that confusing?
No, just add one on. I quite liked the Mr. and Mrs. Night as well. It was good to have an event like this actually at night
Yeah. It worked.
and not at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
It worked out nicely.
Do you know who won it? It seemed like Billy and
It
Todd
seemed
were
like
winning
Billy and Todd were winning,
until it went
then
rather sour.
but then they left. Is that so? I assume that's like that time at the pub quiz that what's his name with the hair who's dead now.
I'm not joining in because it's a pointless anecdote for people who won't understand. any of it.
Left because he was losing, and then everyone left at the pub. Got the last question. Come on, this is a great story.
It's not.
What was his name? Roger?
No,
What was his name?
I'm not telling you.
Tell me. I'll forget again.
No,
Oh, that's a great story.
because for it to work, you need to explain the rules of DJ trivia.
Well, it's basically like I think pub trivia is more or less
No,
the same the world over,
every
isn't it?
single pub trivia you play is different. Hint, it has to be. Otherwise, people get sued.
Where the last question, if you answer it and you answer it wrong, then you lose all your points.
That's not common.
And everybody lost all their points, and so the guy who left won. And yet he'd left like half an hour before the end of the pub quiz. So people are like, Roger, come back.
His name wasn't Roger.
You won't tell me his name. I just remember his hair. He was balding, and yet he had a glorious head of hair as well. It's weird. And a mustache. And he died of COVID. It's really sad.
He didn't have a mustache.
He did. He had a mustache.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He had a mustache. And then he had that crown of hair.
I don't disagree with you. I'm not talking to you about this. This is,
He had a
none
mustache.
of this is getting in.
He had a mustache, and his name was Roger.
Fine.
Anyway. It was probably Alia and Adam who won, right?
They didn't seem to know each other very well at all, though. And Adam was really concerned about his hair.
Right, yes, but Todd and Sally were terrible, and Gemma and Chesney got disqualified
They were
because of the
cheating.
vodka.
Yeah.
Right.
God, Chesney.
It's so funny seeing him and Gemma together because, like, he's wearing this boring button-down shirt and everything, and she's like got like a gold lame top and like striped
Yeah.
tights on or something. Yeah,
A boob hanging out. Just one.
a shoulder hanging out, not a boob. She's not the Triumph of France or Lady Liberty or whatever.
Yeah. Gemma's wig.
Triumph of France.
Bring me your poor. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway,
Our next storyline tonight is Home No Help. On Monday, Cassie is helping Tyrone do his wheelchair exercises when she gets a booty text from Steve.
oh yeah.
Thinks about it for 1 second before fucking off and leaving Tyrone on his own. At the factory, Fiz is run ragged as she sits and drinks tea and talks to Kirk. He is exhausting. That said, she's managed to get the rest of the week off.
Lots of people talked to Kirk this week.
Yeah, too many people. On her way home, she runs into Tracy, who reminds her that she's a long time dead and advises her to go live a little with her time off. So instead of going back home to Tyrone, she goes into town. At number one, Tracy isn't pleased to see a post-coital Cassie watching telly and drinking vino. So Cassie goes home to find Tyrone has taken a spill out of his wheelchair. When Fiz finds out about this, she's furious, but Cassie knows Fiz wasn't at work, so she lies and says that she was at the wholesalers. Tyrone apparently has sprained his wrist. Fiz catches wind that Cassie was getting her hole off at Steve when she should have been looking after Tyrone, so Fiz throws Cassie out once again, and she pisses Tracy off by moving it to number one for a couple of nights, with Ken's blessing.
Yes, and eats all the bread.
Well, that's not till the next day when they end up with bread sandwiches and there's like 6 loaves of bread.
Right, yeah,
quite
which is
funny.
hilarious.
On Wednesday, tensions mount at number 1 when Cassie eats an entire loaf of bread. And in his roles, Cassie gets more grief from Tyrone and Fiz for abandoning him yesterday. Later, Cassie bumps into Sally, who reveals that Fiz is on holiday all week since yesterday afternoon. She's what?
What?
So Cassie goes round with these accusations, and Fiz admits it, saying that she just needed some time alone. And that makes Tyrone super sympathetic and sorry for the pressure that he's put on her. Cassie doesn't get any such sympathy and is asked once again to leave. "Oh, pig's tits," says Cassie. But back at number 1, she finds an ally in Ken who suggests that if Tracy has any issues with Cassie being there, she can sling her hook. Because
Tracy,
if there's
that
one
is.
thing that Ken loves, it's throwing Tracy out of number
Yeah.
1.
Throw
So
my
Friday-
daughter out.
So on Friday, tensions at number 1 increase as Cassie is caught wearing Tracy's t-shirt, and she's fuming about this. She complains to Mary about Cassie, and Mary suggests that she gets to know her or be a bit less abrasive in general, because you know what? Mary's taken to Cassie over the last little while. In comes Tyrone and Fiz arguing about seeing the drunken wastrels. Fiz doesn't want to leave Tyrone on his own, but he insists. But Fiz is adamant she's not going. Later, Tracy goes to see Cassie with tickets to see the drunken wastrels because she knows the bass player, which she didn't choose to mention when the drunken wastrels were first brought up. Tracy gives the tickets to Cassie as a bribe for her to leave number 1, saying that she can't use them, saying that she can use them to get into Fiz's good books. Fiz, though, isn't interested in these games. Ty thinks it's a nice idea, but Fiz will hear none of it and tells Cassie to shove her tickets up her arse.
Right.
Up her arse.
It's weird, though, because, like, Cassie tells them point blank that these came from Tracy. And Fiz is like, oh, well, she's going to want something back in return. And she's like, no, they're free. She's like, no, this is Tracy. There's always something.
Cassie was saying the quiet bits out loud here.
Right, which she shouldn't have done.
The line was, "I've got you tickets for this concert.
Right,
On me.
right.
Go enjoy your night."
Or say, oh, well, you and I can go and Ty can stay at home in the wheelchair with the kids.
Or go out to Kev's and sit in the dark.
Right, yes. Where is that wee boy?
What wee boy?
The wee boy.
Wee Doran?
Yes. What the heck? Where is Doran when Tyrone falls out of his wheelchair? Why is nobody watching Doran?
He's hiding.
Is he hiding in that back shed again? Mm-hmm. Telling Steve to shh.
Oh, so fucking scary. Jeez. Oh.
I think it was just rather unfortunate that I think that episode came out the same week as Weapons.
Doran just getting out of his bed at 2:10 in the morning or whatever. Anyway,
And running like Nataro.
it looks like Cassie will be staying at number 1 for a while yet. And that's as far as we get with that. I'm getting a little bit bored of the whole Cassie getting kicked out from pillar to post
Right,
thing.
yes.
I
I'm
think
kind
this
of
is meant
sick
to. I think this is meant to be funny though.
I kind of, well, except the bits that Tyrone is falling out of his wheelchair part. That's not funny. And Fiz feeling like burnt out and stuff isn't funny. Yeah, I'm also kind of sick of Ken constantly throwing Tracy out.
No, that is funny.
In favor of Cassie. Because it doesn't make sense.
He was trying to change his catheter at the time. And that made me cross my legs.
Right, but also...
How does that make you fall out of a wheelchair? Don't act it out.
Is he just...
What are you doing with your imaginary penis?
Because he wouldn't be pulling the catheter out. He would just be changing...
One would hope not.
He would just be changing the bag that the catheter's attached to.
Mm-hmm.
Which would probably be like at his side.
Ah, there we go.
So there we go.
There we
Okay.
go.
All right.
There's
We
the
got
bit.
there. We got there in the end.
Now, put your willy away.
You know, they more or less work the same way. Where, you know, a tube that's too big to go through a hole is shoved through a hole. It's uncomfortable for both parties.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
No matter what you have.
I'm positive it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So going like this doesn't necessarily mean that I'm pretending that I have a penis. Is what I'm
not saying that that's what you were doing. I'm just saying that's what it very much looked like.
The more we can talk about medical things that deal with our unmentionable bits, the better the podcast is.
Keeps the punters happy.
It does.
All right. I guess I've lost track of where we are, so we should just move on.
Yeah, I think we've...
Our next storyline is Tim's cherry. Just a few scenes about this,
Not
Helen.
much.
Just a few
Not
scenes.
much.
On Monday, at number 4, Sally's still wanting to flog the Trisha horse, but Tim has told her to leave well alone. He's had enough of Sally and Brian going on about something that isn't important. Sally's worried Tim is psychologically scarred by this, and Tim says that she's creating issues where there aren't any. He doesn't mind her telling him what to do around the house and stuff, but he won't have her interfering in his past, otherwise they'll have a serious falling out.
Dum dum dum.
And that's all that happens there.
Yeah.
But then by Wednesday they're doing Mr. and Mrs. and seem
Right, and being cute.
happy as Larry again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, which unfortunately kind of feels like this is it. We're not exploring this any further.
No, there must be more. There must be more to this. This isn't getting left
Yeah,
with
I hope
nothing happening.
I hope not, but that's the vibe that I'm
Trisha's
getting
going to come
now.
back, or something's going to happen to upset the apple cart again and bring this to a head. All right, we'll move on to our next storyline. Nail bar, nail bar, nail bar. On Wednesday...
Wait, what was that?
Nail bar.
Nail bar?
Nail. Fingernails.
Okay.
Nail bar. On Wednesday, Shona is getting ready for her scan today, but there's no sign of David. Meanwhile, Audrey offers Bethany a job at the salon doing nails. Nails.
Ooh.
Bethany is unenthusiastic about this. David, though, ends up stuck in a lift and won't
Yes.
be able to make it to the scan.
Isn't that hilarious? We're doing the stuck in a lift storyline in 2025.
Well, last time that happened, Leanne had a baby.
Yes.
Bethany has an idea. Good God. Her idea is to give Shona a pampering, but not like that.
Right. And cancel or reschedule the scan.
David calls and leaves a message apologising, so Shona calls him back, tells him he hasn't missed anything, and David is so relieved he takes a shit in the lift.
Now, because this kind of came up in spoiler alert last week, where we talked about the fact that David was going to be stuck in an elevator, and something that I didn't mention that was mentioned when I was like reading the spoilers was, and Bethany has an idea. And I was like, well, there's not enough there to really talk about it. But when I read it, I was like, oh, Bethany's probably going to have an idea to FaceTime David from the scan so that he can be there while also in the elevator. And it'll be really cute and it'll be a lovely story and a lovely thing. But no, her idea is to do Shona's nails.
Well, that's more in keeping with Bethany, isn't it?
Yeah, but
It's like if Bethany has an idea, and her idea was to get her toolkit out and go to the wherever it was David was and fix the elevator herself.
I think FaceTiming is a lot less complicated than fixing an elevator.
Have you seen some of the faces Bethany's been making this week?
Try hard not to.
I feel like there's a collection in there, but is it cruel? It feels a little cruel.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but it makes the story kind of a nothing burger, doesn't it? That
Which part of it, or all of it?
all of it.
Yeah, all of it.
Because it's like, oh, he's stuck in an elevator. This is hilarious. This makes me feel like that week they were going to do like a whole storyline about the scan, and for some reason Jack P. Shepard just couldn't be there for some reason. And so they had to very quickly make something up where they could just use his voice on a phone and not have him physically there.
Yeah.
And so this was just kind of made up to fill that space where they were actually going to have a scan and find out the gender of the baby and all that other stuff.
Or maybe the scan wasn't going to happen today, but you'd see David at some point during the episode. It wasn't just in the credits and voice off Jack P. Shepherd.
Right. But you don't see Jack P. Shepherd all week. Just his voice.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Anyway, the story moves on, thankfully.
They missed a trick of making that story interesting
Yeah.
by making it Shona lying back and getting her nails done, which is not interesting.
Yeah, I'd actually quite like to have seen Bethany attempt to fix an elevator. On Friday, Bethany and her chunky jewellery. Oh, God, that chunky jewellery. Have you missed it?
I don't even notice it.
It's like Mr. T.
It's like one of those things that you notice and I don't, which is weird because usually I'm the observant
And it
one.
gets on my tits
Which is weird
every time.
because I like chunky jewelry. I don't wear it all the time, but I got a lot of it. But I guess you like it on me.
We should talk. Anyway, she's back in the salon, and wouldn't you know it, this is Hope's first day for work experience. She's late and on her phone, and shorter than Ruby is now. Audrey asks Bethany to take Hope under her wing. Bethany's first client is a saleswoman for a diet pill. Bethany is very much against this, but Hope is keen to give them a go. Bethany basically calls her customer a drug dealer until Audrey rescues the situation with tea and a haircut. Hope really wants a go on these pills, so Bethany puts on a voice of experience as she says that she wished she'd stayed away from promises of quick fixes, and then maybe she wouldn't have this stoma bag. And I'm like, the show has remembered the stoma bag.
Yeah.
The customer is about to leave and then checks through her bag and accuses someone of stealing her supplements. Bethany didn't do it. Audrey certainly didn't do it. So Bethany assumes it was Hope. And she goes to open Hope's bag, but Cassie, who's there, intervenes, yanks Bethany off. But
not like that.
And in doing so, loosens Bethany's stoma bag, creating a bit of a mess.
Right, which we don't see.
You see a little bit of it.
Yeah. You see her like clutching her side and saying, my stomach bag's come loose.
And you see a little blossoming stain.
Do you? Because I didn't see one and I watched it on the big telly.
Not closely enough then. Meanwhile, the customer is writing a 1-star review of Audrey's salon.
On Yelp.
And not even an offer of a free curly blow, but not like that,
Not like that.
resolves the situation. It's a blow from Curly. Hope admits to stealing the pills. The customer threatens to call the police, which suits Bethany, who wants to tell him about her selling diet pills to a minor.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because it's like, oh, no, I'm going to do this unless you give me back my pills. They give her back the pills. Oh, now I'm going to call the police. It's like, you've got your pills back. Shut up. Quit while you're ahead. But good job, Bethany.
The customer leaves with her tail between her legs. Do one, says Cassie, who has already forgotten her role in all this and should really be winding her neck in.
Right.
After all the hullabaloo, Hope admits that she stole the pills because everyone thinks she's ugly. Cassie's Hope's gran thinks that she's a wee cracker. Bethany says everyone she sees on Instagram are filtered. But Hope says the people at school aren't. Bethany tells her that loving herself comes from inside, whatever the fuck that means. Then says Hope is funny and sassy, which is code for ugly.
Or as RuPaul puts it, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
RuPaul said that?
Yes. He says it at the end of every episode of Drag Race.
So wise.
You need to watch more Drag Race.
I don't.
You do.
Maybe a haircut would help. For Hope, not RuPaul.
No.
Cassie and Bethany congratulate themselves on a job well done regarding Hope's self-esteem, but back home alone, Hope is crying as she reads messages telling her how fugly she is.
And a slag.
Yeah.
And that not even her mother loves her.
And that's as far as we get with that this week.
Really?
Is this the Hope storyline that
Really?
Kate Brooks was talking about?
Really? We're going to do cyberbullying again
Yes.
of a teenager again. And we're going to make it Hope, who has more self-confidence than everybody else in the cast.
This is what grinds my gears about this storyline is Hope has gone from being a bit of a social media prankster
And a felon.
a few weeks ago, who is a bit of a top dog as far as I could tell at school with
Right,
all
yeah.
her little underlings that
Everybody
she's got.
follows her around.
Yeah. She's gone from that to being bullied. The Hope's being bullied.
Hope's being cyberbullied?
Hope's the bully, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she is. What the hell? And that, again, would be a much more interesting storyline, wouldn't it? If Hope is caught cyberbullying somebody else in the school. Or, give this storyline to one of the other kids that don't get storylines, aka Ruby and Lily. Ruby and Lily don't get storylines. Lily briefly got a storyline where she was leaving Sam for dead, and then that was over.
God, Sam had trauma about that.
Right.
He was hiding under tables.
Right.
He got over that very quickly.
Apparently, and off screen. Of course, we haven't seen Sam in A God's Age.
He was a server at the bistro.
When?
A couple of times.
Wasn't this week.
No, not this week. But that's, I think, the last time we saw him.
Oh, and yeah, wasn't there like a Platt dinner that he was at recently? The last big bistro family dinner was the Baileys and the Websters.
Mm-hmm.
Was Sam serving there? No, it was
it
just Nick with that stupid cake.
Yeah, I'm all for Hope getting something interesting to do.
Right. But
And this, I guess, goes against the usual where Hope is the confident, maybe overbearing sort of character with all her friends to being someone who is being put upon. But I don't know that you go from being one thing to the other as quickly as this. Although, was it with middle school, everything changes in middle school. I don't know if she's not. She's 14 now, 15
so she'd be in
now?
high school.
She'd be in
She'd be in high school
yeah.
here. She'd be like a sophomore, freshman in that kind of age group. And again, we just had cyberbullying last year with Liam. It was just last year that Liam was almost driven to suicide by cyberbullying. So...
Yeah, she'll be 15 in December.
And like bullying. So it kind of feels like a lazy story to just repeat it over and over again. And we've complained about other storylines being rehashed over and over
Well, this
again.
is a little bit of a hybrid as well, because it seems as it's a body dysmorphia sort of thing. But wasn't that Bethany's going to Turkey storyline?
And which I think is why they've put Bethany with Hope. But also that's kind of the Asha storyline when Asha went through the whole skin lightening thing. Remember that?
Yeah, but that was a while ago.
It was ages ago. It's like...
I don't know, we're early days and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm kind of approaching this with a little bit of hesitation. It's not the sort of direction that I would expect a Hope storyline to go in. I'm all for a Hope storyline where she doesn't set fire to anything.
Yes.
And at no point during the storyline does she get arrested. I'm all for that. I just don't know that this is what we would expect.
Has Hope actually been arrested? I know she's been questioned before, but they haven't
Tinker talked to her, it's fine.
They haven't put her in the STC
No.
yet.
Not yet.
Which is
Where
shocking.
again, if that was to happen, she'd be running the place.
Yeah, and it would be interesting because we've yet to have a girl in the STC. We've thrown every boy into the STC except for Addie.
Or Jack.
Yeah, I suppose.
Don't. I know you want to, just don't.
I'm not going to.
Let's move on.
Yes.
To our next storyline. The most racist careers fair in
Oh
Manchester.
no, I stand corrected. Kelly the Chin and Lauren have both been in the girl version of the STC. So I stand corrected. It's been a while.
Move on to our next storyline. The most racist careers fair in Manchester.
Are we still calling it that?
But I was going to change it, but it kind of comes back to this. So on Friday, Asha is out of hospital and Dev is far too high to deal with it sensibly and promises family and jelly and ice cream, and that'll have her back to normal.
Right, and also some show that she seems to want to watch, and he's going to binge it with her, and he's never going to leave her side, and it seems like a nightmare.
Asha doesn't look back to normal to me and is worried about people knowing what happened. Dev insists no one knows. Gulp.
Really? Because I kind of feel like everybody knows, don't they?
Mm-hmm. At home, Dev is trying too hard to be normal and is determined to get his raspberry ripples out until Asha has to yell at him to calm the fuck down. He admits to being worried, but this is more than Asha can handle. Luckily, Dev has got to go to deal with a corner shop emergency that involves quad vomit. Alone in the house, though, Asha can't stop crying.
Doesn't it always involve quad vomit, everything, in the end?
That's what it all boils down to.
It's what it boils down to.
Alone in the house, though, Asha can't stop crying. At the store, Bernie has read an article on racist Naomi winning an award for Best Racist PowerPoint Presentation, and she's fuming about this. Dev decides to get angry about Bernie being angry and yells at her to focus on Asha's mental health instead of racist Naomi and her above-par slideshow creation.
Ugh.
In other news, it seems Gemma's wife has been gabbing about Ash's suicide attempt to all and sundry. Good luck throwing money at that problem, Dev. Kirk, who knows all about being desperately depressed if we're to be believed, talks to Dev about Asha's situation and
I
speed
know, weren't you excited? Weren't you excited when this
Finally.
conversation happened?
Yeah, this is it.
I was like, this is it. This is it. They've heard us. They've heard us.
And Kirk, with his t-shirt and his massive ampersand on it, says to Dev, actually, I'll let you know a secret, Dev. I have been horrendously depressed for the longest time.
Right.
And here's what helped me.
Yes.
And
That's
sadly
not
doesn't
really
happen.
what he talks about being depressed and stuff because Craigie's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can't sit on the couch anymore and eat
Garlic
naan.
naan.
So he says to Dev, eat as much garlic naan with Asha as you possibly can.
Yep.
Seize the naan.
Wise words, Kirk.
But still, this was exciting because it's just that much closer to the Kirk crippling depression storyline that we've been begging for.
Which is so obvious and has been running for years and no one's talking about it.
Except for us.
Yeah. Here's a good thing. Asha's out. She's recovering. But it's taken time. And I'm glad that it's taken time because you want to do this justice. The fact that she was in hospital for longer than most people are in for brain surgery is also a good thing.
Yes.
Because she
I
needs,
mean, if
from
for
a storytelling
Asha's storyline,
from a
not for
storytelling point of
people
view.
with brain injuries.
Sure. But to see her coming out and not being okay, people come out of hospital and they're better, or they're on the way to recovery. Asha's coming out of hospital and isn't. And I think that's an interesting and brave choice.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that they're doing it this way.
Yes, me too.
And I guess I can understand from Dev that he's trying to protect his little girl by making her his little girl again.
Yeah.
And it's
not working.
It's arguably making matters worse, I would say.
Correct.
All right, our final storyline tonight is the lonely grave of Tia Wardley. On Monday, Carla comes home to announce that she sold her overs to a bloke called Ben. And that's all we say about that.
That's correct.
Although Glenda has a little word about it during the Mr. and Mrs. because she's worried about being able to do things like this in future.
Yes.
And in other news, she's fucking off to Ireland for a couple of weeks for her auntie's funeral or whatever.
Yeah, why is she going to Ireland for 2 weeks for a funeral?
Just making a holiday out of it. Carla's concerned.
I mean, if you're going to go to Ireland, you might as well spend 2 weeks there with Ryan and Michelle.
Well, I was in Scotland for a long weekend.
Yeah. It's not 2 weeks.
No.
No.
Or anything like it.
No. It's more expensive for us to fly to Ireland than it would be, Carla.
Just a little bit.
Just a wee bit. Still, it seems like a long time for her to be gone with the whole Becky thing going on.
Yeah. And selling a pub.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
You'd
Weird.
want to be there until
sign the
keys,
paperwork, right,
the keys
yeah.
are handed over and stuff.
Right.
Carla's concerned about leaving Swain on her own with Becky, but Swain insists there's nothing to worry about and it'll be good for Carla to get away. Becky shows up like a bad smell looking for Betsy, but catching wind that Carla's off to Ireland before Swain throws her out. Carla spits feathers and goes to Nina's Rose to ask Roy to keep an eye on Swain. Roy isn't keen, but agrees. And it's not that Carla doesn't trust Swain. She just doesn't trust Becky.
Yeah, who does?
On Wednesday, day one of Carla being gone, and Betsy has an assignment that she's been working on for college because she's in fashion, let's remember. It's absolute shit. She wants a live model, and Swain isn't game, so Becky immediately appears at the door and offers her services. What a cow. So they have a ball and throw the tunes on and play at catwalk, and Betsy takes some video that she throws on her socials. And when Becky catches wind of this, she's furious, thinking someone could recognise her. Sure enough, Costello seems to be friends with Betsy on send pics, and he sees the video.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Kind of
Very
creepy.
weird.
Isn't it
Very
creepy?
weird.
Creepy that Costello is on Betsy's socials.
Essentially monitoring them.
Yeah, that is creepy. You didn't like the whole Roy drag outfit?
No.
Didn't think that was cool?
No, I thought it was dreadful. And everyone's telling her how great and talented she is, and she's rubbish.
The whole like red gloves thing that makes it look like he's murdered someone, and also is it
Yeah, after last year,
in
let's
a
do
drag
that.
queen? Yeah,
Let's do that.
yeah. The other one, the David one was worse, which fortunately we only see as a drawing, where he's wearing his Canadian tuxedo.
Mm-hmm.
Denim on denim. She's so in on what's chic.
Anyway, Betsy's had enough of this pish and wants everything to go back to normal, so she leaves. And Becky obviously thinks everything back to normal means her dead or in Spain. On Friday, Betsy hasn't come home and Swain is frantic while Becky insists everything will be fine. Swain is unimpressed though, and they go to find Dylan or Brodie. They find Brodie, who has no idea where Betsy is, but confirms she was miraculously drunk last night and posted it all on social media. A passing Kit can't believe, and nor can I, that no one told Swain that Betsy was lifted by the fuzz last night, and not in a good way. Nobody tells Swain this?
Nobody
tells Swain that Swain's daughter's been arrested?
Yeah, nobody calls her and says, Betsy doesn't get a phone call? Betsy doesn't get a phone call? Is that not a thing? You get one phone call. You're supposed to get one phone call when you...
I don't know if you get a phone call or not.
You should get a phone call. Why wouldn't you get a phone call? So you can let somebody know to bring bail.
Well, you must, because you get your solicitor.
Or your mum.
Or your mum. It's not that they don't know who Betsy is.
Right.
So anybody in that cop shop knows that Swain's daughter's in here.
Yeah, why wouldn't they call
Are they
her?
all assuming that someone else has done it?
That's kind of that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from Kit, because he's like, wait, nobody told you?
Well, why
'Cause
didn't you tell her?
He knows.
Why didn't you tell her
'Cause
then?
the vibe I'm getting is that he assumes somebody else would have told her. Because he's not the one who arrested her, but he seems aware that that's where she's at.
No,
I don't know.
that's so strange.
It is.
Maybe, here's an idea. Maybe it's plot. Maybe
Maybe.
that's why.
Maybe.
So back home, Swain is out of her tits with worry and blames all of this on Becky coming back and wishes she'd just stayed where she was. And she leaves Becky alone in her house as she heads to the cop shop. In the interview room, Betsy's with Adam as a copper explains an allegation that D.I. Costello found Betsy drunk and vandalising a police car, and she assaulted him and she has resisted arrest. Betsy insists this is a lie. Adam tells her to no comment and all cops are bastards.
Yes.
The copper is combing through CCTV, but they definitely have her for resisting arrest and some anti-police social media posts that I don't think are illegal.
No.
Oh, you've been posting on social media about your vehement hatred of the police. And?
Yeah. That's allowed. That's allowed. I mean, I know you don't have the First Amendment, but you have something similar.
There are times in our history where it's positively encouraged.
Yes. Like right now.
I feel like maybe we're going on about that a little too much.
I don't think so.
Swain gets to the station and no one lets her see Betsy for good reason. She really is a dreadful copper now.
She is.
Meanwhile, Costello's meeting Becky in a graffitied alleyway pretty fucking fed up with Betsy's behaviour and Becky appearing on social media now. He wants Becky gone before someone finds out that they faked her death. So this means that nobody else knew about this?
Right. Yeah, well, this is what... Remember, we had this problem at the very beginning. That there would be... That we've all seen The Departed. So we know that there's like a team. There's a team of people working with the undercover guy to help the undercover guy and to be the people that talk to the undercover guy and get the information from the undercover guy and shoot people who tried to shoot the undercover guy. Like, this should all be like a huge police operation, not just two people. Mm-hmm. Which makes me think that this was not in fact this was not a sanctioned police action on the part of Costello and Becky. That this is something else.
Impossible to contrive with just two people, one of whom is supposed to be dead.
Right.
And in Spain.
Yes, dead.
He explains the charges that are facing Betsy and suggests that they'll go away if she goes back to Spain, or things are going to get nasty for Betsy and Swain. Swain rhymes with Spain.
Yes.
Well, Kit goes to check on Betsy.
One letter difference.
Yeah. Swain rushes in. Betsy swears that she didn't do any of this. Swain says they need to prove it, and Betsy tells her not to spiral. And then Kit says enough is enough and drags Swain out. Back home, Becky looks like she's packed to leave, but says that she's taken close to the laundrette, which doesn't seem very likely. Swain loses her shit at Becky, bored of the apologies, bored of making it about her. Betsy might get sent down for life because of this, because of Becky coming back. Becky sees Swain upset, hugs her, and then decides that she can't leave while Swain is like this and insists on staying the night. Get out! Swain doesn't say, but should.
Yes.
Becky's here to stop her spiralling. This seems to be a common trait of a detective sergeant. Becky meets Costello in the alleyway of doom, and he has tickets for her to leave, but she says she'll only go if it's with Swain and Betsy, and if he doesn't help her in that effort, she'll come clean to everyone. Back home, Becky's clattering.
Which again makes it seem like this is some dirty, underhanded thing. This is not what she claims it is.
Yeah, Costello is in serious bother if this comes out.
Right.
Back home, Becky's clattering about deliberately while Swain is on video chat with Carla, who wants to come home and seems to wonder if Betsy is as innocent as she claims. Carla is another person who knows that Swain spirals, and she tells Swain not to let Becky get under her skin in all this. After the call, Becky is fake surprised that Carla doesn't think Becky is innocent, and suggests that she and Swain can sort all of this out together. And that's how we end this week's episodes.
And she doesn't drop another spoon.
No.
That was just ridiculous,
wasn't it? It was the spoon of Damocles.
Right, yeah, because she's like, ooh, am I going to drop it? Am I going to drop it? Oh, I'm going to drop it, and it's going to cause this big bother. And then she drops it, and Carla doesn't even notice.
No.
Which is hilarious.
Because there's probably some noise suppression software in the...
Right, yes. And also, Carla is in a place... She's in Ireland, so it must be noisy.
Yeah, spoons getting dropped all over the place.
Right, as well as other things.
Knickers?
Well, there's that too.
There we go. Oh, God, I hate Becky so much.
I hate her. I hate her so much. She's so terrible. She's so bad. And don't get me wrong, I was one of the people that was not quite sure about the whole Swarla thing. But I hate Becky so much.
We had such a brief moment when Carl and Swain are almost fighting over who gets to propose to who, so they can be happy for an episode. Right,
yeah, because for the longest time they were like constantly fighting and breaking up and getting back together again.
Haven't been doing that for a while.
Like Theo and Todd, only without like the coercive control and the bullying and the shoving of the meat in the face.
It's been a long time since they were like that. But Becky is just so deplorable. And there we have it this week. Confirmation of what she wants. She wants Swain back, and she wants Betsy. And she wants the both of them, or the three of them, to head off to Spain.
Right. And she has this idea that this is going to be easy to do.
and thinks that Costello can manipulate this to happen somehow
Buy them all tickets?
by faking their deaths. 'Cause he seems to be quite good at that.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it.
And it definitely makes us feel,
It's
I
so
think,
muddled.
that this has nothing to do with any gang. Because
No.
it's nothing to do with actual police work.
No.
'Cause
Which doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't involve a gang. If they were if Costello and Becky were taking money from a gang.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I mean, it's
sort of
not
thing.
the threat of a gang.
Right.
Or if it is a threat of a gang, it's because you've been found out.
To do illegal stuff with the gang.
Yep.
Or steal from the gang while doing illegal stuff with the gang.
I did wonder about
This
how
gang
this...
that we've never heard of before.
No.
The storyline.
I did wonder how this was going to affect Kit with the offer of a promotion a couple of weeks ago, but he seemed very much on Swain's side and all this. And in fact, Kit might be the closest thing that Swain has to a confidant in this,
And a friend.
which is terrifying.
See, they're one another's only friends.
Despite it's a friendship primarily built on distrust.
Right. And the fact that their kids hang out together.
Yeah. I suppose
And both of their kids are problematic.
that's what does it. I don't get this. I don't get Swain's lack of a backbone here. And I also don't get her concern that they're going to send a cop's kid to prison. Really? That's
For
what she thinks that
nothing?
they're going to do?
Yeah, that's not going to
I
happen.
don't think that's going to happen. And
No.
Swain shouldn't think that that's going to happen. But hey, even if Swain thinks that that's what's going to happen, she's a copper, for goodness sake. She needs to swallow that down, put on a professional face, and be a cop about it.
Right.
And here she's just an absolute mess.
Right. Yeah. She's not even waiting for this whole CCTV, which we don't get this week.
No. So
And
her,
she's not
her
asking.
messiness.
She's not asking good questions to Betsy to try to figure out what happened, what actually happened.
No. And the messiness of all this is the excuse that Becky needs to muscle her way in and start hugging her, and not only hugging her, kind of caressing the back of her head
And staying the night.
and just saying that this is what's going to happen. And Swain just lets this happen?
Yeah, this isn't the Swain that we know and love.
No.
And I hate it.
And
hate
yet
it.
there are signs of it when she's standing up to her and she's getting angry with her.
Right.
This is great.
Yeah.
You should be saying this, and you should be saying this more often, and you should be saying it louder.
And you shouldn't be letting her spend the night, even if she's staying.
Stop letting her in the house.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
I know, it's ridiculous because it keeps happening. Like when she's like pounding on the door. It's like, fuck off.
Right.
Don't pound on my door like that. What the hell is wrong with you?
But she continually lets her in, and then she left her in the house when she goes off to the cop shop this week.
Right, yeah. And there's
Okay,
a
I'm
part
leaving
of her...
to go to the cop shop, so you're going to need to go.
Right. Or
Oh,
come...
well, I can't because somebody might see, somebody might have seen you when you came here.
Right, yeah.
Beat
Or
it.
wherever you're staying. Go back to wherever you're staying. And there's this part of it that's, oh, well, I can't lock her out for Betsy's sake.
Well, Betsy's not there.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And it's the minute that Carla's gone,
Right.
there's are you playing Happy Families here?
Yeah.
With this whole fashion show thing with
Right.
your shitty designs? No, me no like it at all. I've been far more on board with the Swarla thing. I am unmovably so now because this is infuriating. And it's meant to be infuriating, I get it. But is it also, I think, infuriating over a long period of time? I think this is
Right.
going to be into next year probably.
Because it's a messy story that doesn't make any sense and just infuriates people.
Yeah.
There's a way to do this where it's not as infuriating and where it's interesting to the rest of us. And this is not it.
Well, and they're trying to couple it along with this storyline that I still maintain isn't really a Coronation Street storyline, but is a decent storyline. It would be a better storyline if Martin Compston was somehow involved in it. But
Or it involved a gang that we are already aware of. Bring Harvey back. Bring Damien back. Bring their auntie back. What's her name?
Sharon.
Sharon. Yeah, bring Sharon back. She was fun.
She's supposed to be in charge of the gang, as I keep on remembering.
Yeah. Yeah. Tie it to Sharon's gang so that it becomes something that we're invested in already.
Yeah, because we don't. But if indeed there is a gang,
A different gang.
then give us their perspective on this.
Right, yeah.
And let's see them lurking about and speaking to
because
Becky.
Right now, the only thing that we kind of know about the supposed gang is Ant and Dec. But Ant and Dec were part of Harvey's gang. So there's some weird crossover here. Because they were selling drugs for Harvey. And that's why... And like Mason was going to finger them.
Huh?
Or something. There was some involvement with Harvey's gang with Ant and Dec. But Ant and Dec seemed to also be involved in this other gang because of the whole Tia Wardley thing. So maybe it is the same gang, but they're just being cagey about it. Maybe we will get Sharon back. That'd be cool. I like her.
Remember when she got
Tasered
information?
Jenny?
No.
I remember when she
No.
tasered Jenny.
Have it.
I
hated that. I was going to say when she got information by logging into Max's Xbox. Whether the Xbox was a plot point. Good times.
Yeah, and now it's just tablets.
Yeah.
That for some reason...
Every tablet in the
get your
street seems to get
text
Kev's messages.
Why would you get your text messages on your child's tablet? That seems irresponsible as an adult.
Oh, well, that was the week there was Coronation Street. Helen.
Wait, we're done already?
Yeah, that's it. What do you mean? It's been nearly 2 hours. What's your moment of the week?
Well, it's got to be George telling Todd that he loves him. Doesn't it? And him calling him Toddicles.
Oh, I do like a Toddicles.
I love you, Toddicles.
Yeah, that's it. That's our
Moment of the week.
Moment
was
of the
great.
week. Yeah. While I was watching it, I was like, this is moment of the week. Doesn't matter what else comes on.
just lovely and quiet and simple.
Yeah.
And probably a scene that is written where if anyone is aware of moment of the week, they're probably not thinking this is what's going to get it. But it was just done so well. Because Tony Maudsley and Garth Pierce together are... this is chemistry. This is what chemistry looks like.
They're, yeah. They're basically why I watch the show at this point.
What about your boring moment of the week?
I'd like to say it's Ken's bread, but
No, that was
you
hilarious.
thought it was funny that
was
all three
funny.
of them bought bread.
It's a cornerstone of every sitcom where everybody buys bread one week.
Is it a Hope listing the steps on how to do a manicure?
Yeah.
Bethany quizzing Hope on how to do a manicure, and her listing the steps.
Boring moment of the week.
Sorry, Hope.
I hate Bethany so much.
Yay!
On to our Twitter poll now.
Ugh.
We ask our followers for their opinion on the show this week and classifying it in terms of yay, meh, or zzz. And the results so far are zzz 21.7%, meh 38.3%, and yay 40%. So a narrow win for yay this week.
Well done.
Holly writes, it's a yay purely on the strength of Lisa Swain serving cunt. However, I'm on my knees begging for Becky Swain to 0121 do one. I really, really worry for Todd. Jack P. Shepherd had an easy filming week, literally phoning it in. Thank you very much, Holly, and for making me say serving cunt, which I don't think I say out loud very often.
No, because you're not RuPaul.
Wow, the wise words again. Confucius, step aside.
Confucius is serving cunt.
I don't know what that means. All right. Well, we don't let those scores or viewpoints influence our scores. Hell, that would be folly.
Okay.
So tell me, what is your score out of 10 this week?
Oh, I thought it was a good week. Exception of the Becky shit. But it wasn't. I'd say it's 6.5.
I'm going to 6.
Oh.
I thought Wednesday was a bit of a nothing burger. As I'm writing my notes on Wednesday, I was conscious that things were going on the show, and I wasn't writing anything down. Because it was just nothing.
Well, I watched Wednesday's Corrie at like midnight last night, right after watching Finding Dory and contemplating loss. So it's all a bit of a blur.
Yeah, I can see how one thing merges into the other, certainly. Right, let's wrap this one up then. This episode was brought to you with thanks to our friends of the podcast: Daisy, French Ellen, Pickles, DT, Wendy, Noel, Canadian Helen, Christy, Shandy, English Victoria, Aurora Yvonne, Heather Westerfield, Russell Whiting, Jackie B, Brittany Porter, Laurie Anna, Tina, Stephen, Leah, Tara J, Fiona B, Canadian Jennifer, Josephine Otingi, Anne Greenwood, Trish R, Sarah Purbrick, Ali Q, Hunker Munker, Darren, the artist formerly known as Seal My Fridge, Pamela, Marge JT, Tom Ambrose, Christopher Anstey, Terry in LA, Joe T, Corey Dales, Matthew McKinney, Aussie Ali,
Wait.
Welsh Emma, Matthew S, and Rachel B. Thank you ever so much, folks, for your support. We appreciate it greatly. If you've ever bought bread, write in to tell us about it. We're the talk of the street at gmail.com, and we're at Corrie Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Or reach us the old-fashioned way, the talk of the street, PO Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan 48827. Our spoiler show will be available shortly after this one, and in October's classics, we're talking about episode 970. Get access to this exclusive content by becoming a friend of the podcast at ko-fi.com/thetalkofthestreet, or patreon.com/thetalkofthestreet, or youtube.com/thetalkofthestreet podcast. Check out voggle.co.uk for links to our merch store, YouTube channel and blog. And if you're so inclined, please leave a rating and a review on the iTunes or your podcast provider of choice. And be sure to check out our pop culture sister podcast, The List of Lists.
Give Jennifer Lopez the Oscar already.
Thanks for making it to the end of another episode, and we will be back next week with more
Talk of the Street.
The Talk of the Street.
Bye.
Cheerio.